When people find out you're a pro wrestling fan, the first thing you tend to hear is, you know it's fake, right? Ha, yeah, shut up, we know. And if you stick around long enough to listen to their follow-up question, it's usually, how do they decide who wins? Well, don't tell anyone, but before the match, they flip a coin. No, come on, a booker or storyteller tells them who's going to win. But it's a live show, and sometimes things go wrong, and whoopsie, the wrong person ends up with their hand raised. I'm Senor Siete for 7 Wrestling, and let's take a look at 7 matches that ended up with the wrong ending. Now, if you enjoy this content, do us a solid and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and Stone Cold Stunner that notification bell. Number 1. Hardcore Battle Royal, WrestleMania 2000. The Hardcore title has always been treated as somewhat of a joke through its existence, but Crash Holly took that to a new level when he threw out a challenge to the entire roster, telling them he'd defend the title anywhere at any time. This led to defenses in a variety of wild places, most notably Funtime USA. But Crash was exhausted and paranoid, so he challenged all of his opponents to face him in a hardcore Falls Count Anywhere Battle Royal at WrestleMania 2000. There would be a 15-minute time limit, the belt could change hands during that time, and whoever had the belt at the end of the 15-minute time limit was the champion. Well, the belt proceeded to be lost 10 times during the match, and crowned such notable stars as Funaki, Pete Gas, Joey Abs, truly a who's who of early 2000s talent, but the ending did not go as planned. Crash regained the title from Taz with only 37 seconds left to go. Taz trapped Crash in the Taz mission and was hoping to reclaim the title, but Crash's fake cousin, Hardcore Holly, smashed a candy jar over Taz's head, pinned Crash, and claimed the title at the very last second. But what was supposed to happen was the time was supposed to run out before the final pinfall could be counted. Everyone was confused. Announcer Jim Ross was claiming that Crash got his shoulder up when he clearly did not. Crash left with the title, but announcer Howard Finkel awkwardly awarded the bout to Hardcore Holly. It was a weird finish to what was a relatively fun match. Hardcore Holly would later say he was very worried about getting yelled at backstage, but they simply switched the title back the next night on Raw. Number 2. The 2005 Royal Rumble. 2005 was a year for crowning new faces of the company. Batista was on a collision course with his Evolution buddy Triple H for the World Heavyweight title, and it was clear that the white-hot John Cena was ready to take the WWE title on SmackDown. So, clearly one of them was going to win the Royal Rumble, and accidentally, both of them won. For the ending of the match, Batista was going to hit his powerbomb finisher on the Doctor of Thugonomics and then toss him out of the ring. But Batista lost his balance and the duo went tumbling over the top rope, and miracle of miracles, they both seemed to hit the floor at the exact same time. Give them a million tries to do this on purpose, and it probably wouldn't have looked this good. Oddly enough, there was precedence for this. Bret Hart and Lex Luger pulled a similar stunt and were named co-winners of the 1994 Royal Rumble, but they did it on purpose. As everyone scrambled to figure out what to do, Batista and Cena commendably pretended like they each should be declared the rightful winner. Finally, Vince McMahon strutted to the ringside area and demanded that the match be restarted, and in the process, tore both of his friggin' quads. The gobsmacked genetic jackhammer just sat helplessly in the ring and ordered Cena back into action. And from there, it was pretty straightforward. Batista hit his spine buster on Cena, which, smart move to stay away from the powerbomb, buddy, tossed Cena over the top rope and won the match. Number 3. Eddie Guerrero and Saturn versus the New Age Outlaws. The Radicals, with a Z, jumping to WWE was one of the first signs that WCW was in some serious trouble. The quartet made up of Chris Benoit, Perry Saturn, Dean Malenko, and Eddie Guerrero had been the heart and soul of the WCW mid-card, and the foursome showing up on Monday Raw could put to rest the argument that WCW had better in-ring action. It was on the February 3rd, 2000 episode of SmackDown where the new group would square off against DX in a series of 3 matches. Dean Malenko versus X-Pac, Perry Saturn and Eddie Guerrero against the New Age Outlaws, and Chris Benoit versus then WWE Champion Triple H. And if they won 2 out of the 3 matches, the Radicals, with a Z, would receive WWE contracts. The original booking had X-Pac besting Malenko, Saturn and Guerrero beating the Outlaws, and Chris Benoit coming up just short against Triple H in the main event. But during the tag match, Guerrero dislocated his elbow when he hit his trademark frog splash. And instead of tagging out or directly going to the finish, Guerrero told the Outlaws to pin him. He was probably worried about ruffling feathers backstage. However, this killed the evening storyline, as now there were no stakes to the Triple H Benoit match, with the Radicals, with a Z, already down 2 matches to 0. However, in the long run it probably didn't matter, as all 4 would turn heel a couple of nights later. Number 4. AJ Styles vs. Kevin Owens. AJ Styles had recently claimed the United States Championship from Kevin Owens during a Rare House show title change, so it was weird that he'd give it back a few weeks later at the Battleground Premium Live event. And it was even weirder that it would happen in such a lackluster manner. The Phenomenal One and the then Face of America would start off with their usual impressive back-and-forth match, but then, out of nowhere, Owens would reverse a submission hold into a very lackluster pin attempt, and the referee would count 3. It was wildly underwhelming, and it might not be correct to call it the wrong finish at all, as Owens' music played and he walked off with the belt. But to hear Chris Jericho tell it, and not that we believe everything Chris Jericho says, he was supposed to work with AJ Styles at the following SmackDown and not interact with Owens at all. The match was changed to a 3-way title match with Styles picking up the win and Jericho taking the fall, so the feud could continue through SummerSlam. Number 5. Divas Battle Royal. A Divas Battle Royal was held where the winner would receive a title shot against then-champion Layla El at Night of Champions. What could possibly go wrong? Well, quite a bit actually. On the August 20th, 2012 episode of Monday Night Raw, the Battle Royal came down to Eve Torres and former Chickbuster Caitlyn battling it out. And when Caitlyn would clothesline Eve Torres over the top rope, Eve lost her footing and fell to the floor. And that's all it takes to get eliminated from a Battle Royal. Wow, the look on Layla's face is priceless. But it wasn't that big a deal. During the Night of Champions, Caitlyn was attacked before the match and replaced with Eve, who went on to win the title. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Number 6. Emma vs. Dana Brooke vs. Becky Lynch vs. Charlotte. NXT Brooklyn 2015 is famous for having one of the best women's one of the best matches of all time, when Bayley claimed the NXT Women's title from Sasha Banks. But it wasn't the only notable women's action that night. In a taping for the weekly NXT TV show, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Emma, and Dana Brooke squared off in a fatal 4-way match, and the bad guy Emma picked up the clean win after hitting Lynch with a splash in the corner. That's it. Not her finishing move, just a regular old splash. And if you've been paying attention to this video, you know it wasn't supposed to go down like that. Watch it. Emma even goes with the motions of a kick out. Lynch just never moved her shoulders. The announcer would even say Emma looks like she was surprised herself. Apparently, someone missed their cue and was supposed to break up the pin, and Charlotte was supposed to be the eventual winner. But Lynch and Charlotte were already members of the main roster at this point, so losing on NXT TV wasn't seen as that big of a deal. Number 7. Hulk Hogan vs. Antonio Inoki. Long before the yellow and red of Hulkamania took the world by storm, Hulk Hogan was a highly regarded foreign wrestler, or gaijin, in Japan. In 1983, Hulk Hogan took part in the inaugural International Grand Prix League, a 10-man, round-robin tournament that was going to crown the first ever IWGP champion. And believe it or not, the Hulkster won the whole darn thing, defeating Japanese legend Antonio Inoki in the finals by knockout. Hogan clotheslined Inoki off of the apron to the floor, where Inoki would be counted out. But that wasn't what was on the booking sheet. To hear wrestling journalist and star enthusiast Dave Meltzer describe it, he just wins this tournament and he should be celebrating, and Hogan's out there and he's got this look on his face like, oh my god, did I just kill the boss? Everyone bought it, from the media to others at ringside. It was real. Until it wasn't. Because eventually it was revealed to all be a work that was secretly set up by Inoki. Wrestling historian Fumi Saito would say, that's how mysterious Inoki is. Referee didn't know about it, Sakaguchi, his business partner, didn't know about it, Hulk Hogan didn't know about it. Instead, the inaugural champion reacted as though he had seen a ghost. Inoki just decided to lay there. Wow, Hogan has that story about Andre not telling him what he was going to do in the lead up to WrestleMania 3. Maybe people just liked messing with the Hulkster. Well, that's our list. Did we forget any other matches that didn't go according to plan? If so, leave them in the comments section below. Also, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and pedigree that notification bell. Until next time, I'm Senor Siete for Savin Wrestling saying bye-bye.